Ballesteros will be next, 67 and 71, 138 for Seve. Yes, nicely. Nicely.
On the tee, Nick Price.
Look at the first for Seve. No, it was never running at the hole, was it? So that's a 3 for Seve. And now the champ.
And when he gets into his streaks, he generally plays exceptionally well. And he's also a good major championship player. And this is Ballesteros, of course, hitting his drive at the second. And in the fairway as well. Now back down the fairway. Ballesteros, Price, and Stadler. Final pairing of the day. This is the man that most people fancy to win the championship, but he's now 2 shots behind. Something's rattled him just a little bit, perhaps.
Something very important. So much.
Maybe he's just a little indecisive about the distance, or maybe something bothered him in the crowd. These are the holes you want your birdies. A little strong. He could have used with 1 less club there, perhaps. But safely on the putting surface. And now Ballesteros from the rear of the second green. This is a long birdie attempt. Ballesteros now trails by 2. Curled off to the left. Perfect weight, perfect distance, but about 2.5, 3 feet wide. So Seve marks.
Seve on the 3rd tee. Now this par 4 hole downwind, that Ballesteros able to use an iron club. And you can hear from the applause that it would appear that it's going down the fairway. And with a slightly unkind kick, but never mind. He's on the fairway and it's a good side to come into the hole from.
Now back on the fairway, it's going to be Ballesteros to play first. Seve 2 shots behind his playing partner Nick Price. 4 under par for the championship. It was on the 2nd and 3rd hole of the final day a number of years ago that Hale Irwin had his disaster.
And Seve, who hit a 2-iron from the tee and now has 220 yards to go, with this wind following, will probably only be a 3-iron. But the difficulty judging the distance with this strong wind behind.
Well, he's hit a good one on line, just a touch short, not bad. Now we're back to the third, where it's going to be Ballesteros, I would think, to go first. Let's see. Studying the ball from all angles. This man can be a magician with his putter. It's left him a bit during the past couple of years, but we've seen signs of the old Ballesteros earlier on this week. As I started to say earlier, it was here that he overtook Hale Irwin on these early holes, with Irwin leading this championship when Seve went on to win not all that many years ago. This is for birdie 3. It was always a little short, but seems fairly safe. It's only about 1.5 feet short. So Ballesteros is going to start with 3 pars. Now 2 under par for the championship. Now this is for a tap-in 4 from Ballesteros. He's got it. Now Seve at the 4th. Now he's in the hard long grass as well. A lot will depend on his lie there. It's not what he had in mind at all.
Seve back on the 4th hole, and he's off the fairway on the left. Though the grass looks to be quite long there, in fact he's got a good lie. There's about 2 or 3 feet where there's a fairly clear area. He's found it, and he's got 150 yards to go, straight into the wind. And that's probably going to play something like a 6-iron.
Well, it's well on. Pin high on the left, about 35 feet away. Now we'll see if Stadler, 4th, trying for his birdie. This is the kind of putt that he so often just puts in on you when you're least expecting it, and I would think he's thinking this is just a perfect time to make his move. This is for a birdie from Ballesteros. Well, he's hit that one past and left, and he's got himself about 3.5 feet, or just a touch more there, so he's got some work to do to save par. Now this will be Seve first to try to make 4. Oh, he's got it. Fine putt, good save. 4 for Ballesteros, so he starts with 4 pars.
Well, you had an idea of the view that the players have from the 5th tee, and Ballesteros about to play the tee shot. Looked rather like a number 4 iron, so these holes even downwind are very long. That's a nice iron shot. From the tee you can only see the top of the flag, so it's really, you're depending on the gallery at letting you know how close you've hit it. Ballesteros without his brother caddying. Ian Wright to caddy now, and I think that will be of great advantage to him. Ballesteros at the 5th. Very close. Another par for the Spanish player. But now he's not so far behind, is he? He was 2 behind when he got on the fourth tee. Now he's only one behind, and Price still has eagle. And so too probably will Ballesteros. But first of all, he's got to finish this hole. He's got this Tiddler for a 3. And playing in a much more relaxed mood than we've seen him for a considerable long time. And the 6th tee, it's sheltered by some nice tall trees, willow and birch. And it's a rather nice place to spend the afternoon watching great players drive, particularly when you can see, I was going to say swings of that quality, but he's hooked it into the crowd. He hit a spectator on the left and ricocheted towards disaster land. All the trouble on this hole is on the left-hand side. By going to the right, of course, it makes the hole a touch longer, and he didn't want to sacrifice the yards.
And Seve in trouble here at the 6th. Attempting to hit left-handed, and I think it stayed there. Oh, this is serious. Well, it was a risky shot. He could have taken a penalty and come out 2 clubs lengths sideways, which he contemplated. He did measure it out with his driver, but then decided he could gain a little ground. But he's only moved the ball about, I would think, no more than 2 or 3 feet. It's still in the bush. Now he's considering having another go. I'm getting out of the way.
I don't like to see you there. I may hit you back, you know.
And those trees on the right of your picture, that's where it's all happening for Seve, and I just wonder if he's making a wise decision persevering with this. So he's out in 3, but he could easily have left it in just as he did with the second shot there. He's got it to there. And what a disaster this is for Ballesteros. A hole that he can get up and in 2 at. You see Stadler away 40-50 yards up the fairway ahead. Now Ballesteros, his 4th shot. And he's on the green and hopefully going to stay on it. Yes, he is. But that's 4, and it could easily have been 2, and he knows that. There's no question that he wanted to get into vision with this golf. How all the fellas who are really in the lead and close to it are making no impression on the course. Chaps who are out, we thought out of it, are doing 29s and 30s and 31s to the turn.
Well, I think you get subconsciously a little bit defensive in the lead. They talk a lot about you must be bold when you're leading, but it's so hard to actually be bold.
And of course, you do tend to start playing against the man you're walking with instead of playing against the power of the course. But here's Ballesteros, his 5th shot. And it's a good one, there's no question about it. He's going to drop a shot, but he will feel surely that he's dropped 2 at this hole at least. Now, we've all seen how Sandy Lyle is using a wood at these 2 holes. They're the only 2 holes on the course that you can really open your shoulders. So it's rather sad that Seve chose to hook it at the wrong moment. Got out of it with a 6. Back to 3. The ideal line up the left-hand side of that fairway you're looking at. This was the shot to test the rhythm. This was the shot to see whether the pressure had got to him of the missed drive on the last hole, and that is you couldn't wish for a better line on this hole for the second shot if you walked up and placed it there.
Seve, 230 to go to the front of the green. And coming from the very best possible spot. But he's pulled that one away, and he looks to be in the left-hand bunker.
And there he goes, working on his swing, and he must be really smarting. A 2 par 5. Seve, whose second shot, well, could easily have come up into the green, and instead of that he pulled it into the bunker.
And coming down the same line as Craig. Got the same problems, really, but at least he's coming from sand and can get more grip.
That was an astonishing shot. Incredible man. When he played that shot, the club face was so open at the top of the backswing. I've never seen one twisted in the wrist quite so much. Unbelievable the way he cut that ball up. Incredible character. Well, if he gets out of here with the 4 and has 10 for the 2 5s, it won't be so bad. And Ballesteros just holding out with a great cheer for a birdie. And that brings him to 4 under. Exactly where he started the day.